everything you're saying. I agree with everything you're saying until we get to the point of Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier. Like, I mean, we've had this conversation. When it comes down to the conversation, it always comes to this. Yes, I'm willing to fully admit that maybe his training camp knew that Cormier dips his head, but to paint the narrative that John, to paint the narrative that Jon Jones, whilst he was getting beat, because he was getting beat, was setting up some sort of kick to kick him,
He
and that it was more
wasn't
so.
setting up a kick to kick him. He was
I'm
setting
not
up
saying that,
to
but listen,
knock
this is
him
the thing.
out.
But this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. You may not be saying that, but that's what a lot of the people in the MMA world are saying. What they're saying is this. Now, Jon Jones probably knew that that was there, and he reacted to it. Essentially, it's the same thing, right? Whatever it is, what it is. But what I'm saying is that sometimes these fighters take credit for things that wasn't really a thing. For instance, Chris Weidman taking credit for checking leg kicks when Anderson Silva broke his leg after he checked the leg kick. Oh yeah, we've been practicing checking leg kicks, and
Well,
we just knew that that was going to be there. You knew that was
first
going to
and
be there, nigga.
foremost, that's a true story for the first part, for the most part anyway, because I've watched Jean Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport and Kickboxer, and I've seen what they do to white men's shins when they start checking kickbox
All right,
kick.
here we go with that bullshit. All right, anyways, here we go with that bullshit.
but but having said that, for real, on a serious note, that's a thing with Anderson Silva and those leg kicks. Like he didn't break the man's leg on purpose, but he was practicing checking leg kicks. That
Okay,
was part of his strategy. His leg just happened to get broken.
okay. So why pretend like you knew, like you've been doing some sort of hard body training that you knew that that nigga's leg was gonna be broken when you checked his leg kick. That's all I'm saying. Like take credit for stuff that you actually applied. I feel like Jon Jones, high level striker,
High level.
saw saw opportunity, saw opportunity, and he was able to react to it and he took advantage of it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shade in it. There's nothing lesser than that. But what becomes this thing where it's like, oh no, he's like this like ancient guru. It's like, come on, dog. That doesn't exist. Like
I mean,
these,
I'm not.
we
Look, I'm
know that
not.
doesn't exist at
Listen,
this point.
I know you have this issue with Jon Jones fans that we overhype because I am a Jon Jones fan. We overhype Jon Jones fans. We see Jon Jones in this as this deity when it comes to MMA. Be that as it may, at the same time, trust me, I'm telling you this as a fight fan. There are times that these fighters train to look for things like Rocky. This Creed, for example. Creed is a fictional movie. It is absolutely fictional. But there are times in real fights, just like in Creed, when you go to your corner and your trainer says to you, this, that, and the other, and bam, you gonna sit him on his ass. I guarantee it. And then you go out there and you do it. You wait for what he told you that he saw, and you do it. Jon Jones being that level of fighter, having that level of training camp, it's not unfathomable to me that can be done that way, especially when you're fighting someone for a second time, because a lot of times this percentage is definitely higher than 70, that a lot of these intense rematches end in knockouts or in fights where you clearly see this difference in the two fighters. uh, I look at the Maidana Mayweather fight, look at the first one, and then you look at the second one. Like sometimes you're just gonna see a difference. Hopefully, as a Jon Jones fans, we see that difference when he fights Alexander Gustafsson. He's already said that he's gonna knock him out. So if he goes in there and knocks him out, am I to believe that? I mean, it's not gonna make you retroactively believe in the Daniel Cormier thing, but it'll help me further the point I'm proving that. I mean, some fighters go in there looking for shit like this, and plus he's accomplished so much in other ways of winning, so he's just looking to knock people out now. I guess. I mean, I guess he want to knock people out until he fights Anthony Johnson.
Okay. I mean, what I'm saying to you is this. I understand what you're saying, and I'm not and at all denying the fact that people sometimes look for this. But it's like what the issue that I have is always it's always in the narrative. It's always in the narrative. So essentially, what I'm saying to you is this: when we sit here and we look at somebody and we go, what they do, yes, coaches do go. There's a difference between a coach going, okay, you're going to throw the right, you're going to throw the left, and then, okay, at this point on this round, you should be able to hit him with this, and this, which is what we've been fed as watchers of action movies, watchers of all this different stuff. We've seen these Hollywood-esque moments where, you know, the sensei sits him down and goes, okay, you know, you know, you know, hit him with this, hit him with that, and it will work. Or we plan this out to this moment. Well, we all know in reactionary, in an actual fight, essentially you may see things and you may see opportunities and you may have to react to those opportunities. There's nothing wrong. I think essentially by you arguing what you just argued, I basically agreed with you, but you wanted to let's say I believe that definitely could happen. That could happen. The fact that they did fight with him. Daniel Cormier does try to combine his head movement with takedowns, single leg takedowns, and he's a strong individual and he's fighting lighter individuals because he's really traditionally a heavyweight. So it does make sense for him to lean to his right and then lead to the lead leg to try to take the lead leg down. That makes sense. And it makes sense that a trainer would see that. But what I'm saying to you, this, and in the sequence of events where that nigga was on his back foot and essentially getting his ass kicked, it was not some secret plan for those first 2 rounds for him to get his ass kicked just to land that kick. That's all
Bruh.
I'm saying.
That's and that is look and that is what separates fans of fighting like you from fans of fighting like me. We don't erase what happened early in that fight. My favorite fighter is Deontay Wilder. On the cards, he's not winning any other fights that he ends up winning.
Okay.
He's not planning to go out there and win rounds. He's planning to go out there and knock a nigga out. If you don't knock a nigga out in that first round, he probably lost that round. If he didn't knock a nigga out in that second round, he probably lost that round. If he didn't knock a nigga out in the third round, he probably lost that round. Oh, maybe he won the fourth round because he sat that nigga on his ass and the nigga got up. Okay, fifth round, didn't knock the nigga out, probably lost the round. Sixth round, seventh round, same thing. Eventually, he knocked that nigga out, but that's what he was planning for.
Okay. And
Like there are
what
fighters
I'm
that
saying,
go out there. There are fighters like Adrian Broner. There are fighters that go out there. If you go out there looking for a knockout, you have to be susceptible to taking a knockout. He ain't trying to get knocked out. That's why he don't let his hands go.
okay, all that what you just said was cool, and I agree with you 100%. But that's not what the fuck you said at the beginning.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
My
That's
what I'm saying,
that's,
no,
that's the same thing.
hold on, you implied that that I understood what you just said. What you just said, you implied that I'm supposed to just naturally understand that. What you need to understand is that you are a minority in how you look and how you look at fights. Essentially,
Got you.
you're a minority,
Got
so
you.
you have to explain that. For
Got
me as an individual, I'm looking at the whole structure of the fight. I'm always going to give credit to who won. Jon Jones won that fight,
you. Yeah.
and that
But he
knockout
was
was
getting his got
beautiful.
you. But he
But
was
that nigga
getting
was
his
getting his
ass whooped.
ass whooped, and then it
Got you.
happens.
Understood.
It happens.
Understood.
And
Understood.
okay,
Floyd
man.
Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather changed the game to the point to where people go out there and they win fights convincingly the entire time. But most of the time, if you are looking for a knockout, you have to do things, overextend, and
Yourself
that
and put
shit
yourself in
leaves you
harm's way.
open.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna you take a hell of a lot. That's why Floyd Mayweather doesn't have that many knockouts because he ain't taking those kinds of risks. It's unnecessary to get hit. The game is to hit and not get hit, not to I'm gonna knock this nigga out to put on the show. Fuck the show. I just made a quarter million. I mean, $250 million.
A quarter billion. I'm about to say you're
I'm
a
just,
zero short player.
I'm mad, man. I didn't mean to disrespect Floyd Pocket, man.
Well, all right, man. I mean, cool. So we can move on from the Jon Jones situation because you already know that you're a Jon Jones fanboy and a stan, and I am a Jon
Yeah,
Jones.
man.
I guess.
Look,
I guess I'm a Jon Jones hater. I
you
guess
ain't got
I'll wear
look.
that. I'll wear
I'm
that.
gonna look. If Jon Jones loses to Gustafson, run that shit.
I think I think you're gonna
Run-
win. I think you're gonna win.
I
But
think gonna knock Gustafson out, man.
I don't think you're gonna knock Dustin out
I think gonna knock Gustafson out because I
for
think
only one reason. Only one reason.
Gustafson don't even want the belt. He just want to beat Jon Jones.
Well, that is essentially one of the reasons. Well, two reasons. Then that's essentially one of the reasons why I feel like he's not gonna knock him out. And another reason is that Gustafsson has gotten tremendously better. Like he's not even the same fighter. He's not even the same fighter. The only problem, I mean, like honestly, like if he wasn't fighting probably one of the second greatest fighters ever, which is Daniel Cormier, arguably, because I guess arguably Jon Jones would be the best fighter, and then Cormier would probably be second, and then Anderson Silva maybe third. Can we agree? Arguably, right?
Well, nah, we can't. We can't.
You don't
Right
put
now,
Anderson over Cormier?
right now, right now, I put Cormier. I'm being honest. I put Cormier at number one, Jon Jones at number two, then Anderson at number three.
Hmm.
Jon
Well,
Jones. Jon Jones got to get a few more wins under his belt because he missed a lot of years due to injury. So he got to get a couple
you mean
different
fuck
kinds
shit?
of wins.
You mean fuck
Because
shit?
to
You
be
miss a
quite
couple years
honest
due
with
to fuck shit?
yeah, to be
Big
quite
fuck
honest,
shit.
yeah, like people say that Joe Montana may be a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady got them rings, and that's how I'm looking at Daniel Cormier. I don't like Daniel Cormier. That nigga champ. That nigga like heavyweight moved up and beat Stipe.
Like it was no,
Like
like
I
it was nothing.
like if we were talking about Ngannou was gonna kill Stipe, Stipe went out there dominated Ngannou, then got knocked out by this nigga Daniel Cormier. I gotta give Daniel Cormier his props, even though triangle theories don't usually work. I mean, damn, Cormier is the most decorated fighter, if not the best.
Okay, all right.
That
Well, all
nigga
right.
is he's the only person in the UFC to hold a championship belt, heavyweight in Pride, a championship in the UFC at heavyweight and light heavyweight. I mean, John Jones,
Yeah,
shit like that,
yeah.
bro.
Nah, he hasn't. All right. Well, let's move on from this because
John
I think
Jones ain't been no Olympics, man.
let's move on from this because I think
Yeah.
we have an idea of how we feel, and we can talk about this.
Yeah.
We can have a whole podcast about this. Did you see Ortega Holloway?
Ortega Holloway. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Did I enjoy Ortega Holloway? Absolutely, I enjoyed Max Holloway and then Ortega because Max Holloway is amazing.
Um, what's interesting about Max Holloway is that I didn't realize how good he was.
Nah,
I didn't
nah.
realize how good he was until that fight. Because I always knew Holloway was good, and I've always liked Holloway, but I just didn't understand. Because Ortega was a threat, and he looked bigger, and he had that scary jujitsu where he's just locking niggas up. And like he submitted niggas in positions I ain't never seen before. Like Ortega,
Yeah.
like the way he did Cub Swanson on his
Yes.
feet,
Yeah.
on his feet. I mean, the
Yeah.
nigga was standing. It was like, nah, nigga, you done.
Yeah.
You're done. You know what I'm saying? The way he's doing what he's doing, it was just crazy. And I just assumed that Ortega may just have been a little too much for Holloway, and he just took it, beat him up most of the fight. Ortega, because because Ortega's a really good fighter, battles back, absorbs all that, and says, "Nah, you're still done," and does, yeah, yeah, that's that individual right there. I definitely, think that individual right there is a very good fighter, and
Like he just like I never watched him fight like that because I didn't think he was that good. But he definitely just just went through like he sort of crossed eras, you know what I'm saying?
what
Sort
do
of
you mean?
crossed eras, and then when he crossed into this era, he just became a better fighter. And I guess um seeing him with those I thought it was done after that concussion that he had and he had the to sit out that fight. I can't remember. I think it was the Ortega fight. I think they were actually supposed to fight a little earlier, and he
Mm-hmm.
had like giving up that fight or whatnot. And then when they ran it back this time, like wow. And that's Ortega's another fighter that needs to change his camp. His trainer can only take him so far. Time to get him something else. There's no way he should be taking all those punches he was taking. Like you got to teach that man something else.
Well, to be very honest with you, that's almost unfair only because just training camp. Because with Brian Ortega, this is what